I've always been, I guess, creative. From reading fantasy novels, science fiction. So I just took things that I like and with history and kind of melded the two together. Fall of 2016, I have a friend who is a published author, and I was helping her with her first book by reading what she has written. And we were kind of bantering back and forth on Facebook Messenger. And they just sort of said, well, try it, see what you could do. And I kind of took it as a challenge and, got a laptop and just started writing. The desire to write, I guess, is kind of new because I was always intimidated. Because I, older than most of the 20-somethings out there, obviously. And, in the 80s, I'm reading like big-time authors, Terry Brooks, J.R. Tolkien, David Eddings. And these people are like through published, they have big time publishers, so it's always kind of daunting. Well, what do you do? They have the huge marketing and aspect of whatever the publisher is to help promote your book. So everything I have to do to get people to read my books, literally I have to do myself. So really the process there's different ways. I kind of just would sit down and just whatever came to mind. I'd have notebooks to jot down ideas. The internet's a wonderful thing for researching, especially if you're looking for like locations and whether it's historical things or current. Pictures are wonderful. As opposed to, the days before the internet, and, a lot of the authors would have to, will travel to the locations that their books are based on. The wonderful thing with smartphones, most of them have like a voice recorder on them. So I'll usually record whatever ideas come to my head, or if I'm, on a break or something pulled over, I got notebooks, I'll just jot down ideas that come to my mind.
Are you writing in the cab at night?
I usually do. I've got one of those, I don't know if you've seen them at the truck stop, the little thing that goes on the steering wheel that makes like a desk. I literally set that up, put the laptop right there, and I'm typing away, usually right there at the driver's seat. I have 6 published books. I have probably another half dozen that are in the process of being written. Like I'll get to a certain point and either lose interest or just sort of lose the idea with the story, then I'll just go move on to something else that interests me. The idea came to me literally for the title of the book came from the title of an album by one of the band I like, Iron Maiden. One of their recent albums called Book of Souls. That's literally where I got the name from. And the basis of that song on the album deals with the Mayans. And I've always been interested in the Mayans and Incans, how their civilizations rose up and then just vanished. And then I took it and kind of twisted it and inputted like supernatural characters, werewolves, vampires, witches, and made it into like a fantasy world, but takes place in modern time. I think my favorite one is probably the last book I released. It's called The Witness. It's separate from the first 5. And that one is purely me writing about what I love, which is it involves history, kind of like it's more paranormal than supernatural, because it has aspects of like H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that. Now, to be honest, if I could be a writer full-time, I'd love to be a writer full-time. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay the bills right now. The main book I'm working on now is kind of where I'd like to go, and it's more of a modern-day non-supernatural. It's more of like not a political thriller, but kind of like the military thrillers. That's where I'm at now. And that's kind of where everyone that I've sent what I've done so far to, they've all said, you have to finish this one. So that's my focus right now. As long as I can still have stories, I'll keep doing it. I enjoy it. It's kind of a release in a lot of ways, because say you have a bad day, someone pisses you off, you just kill them in your book. It's kind of satisfying in a lot of ways.